Welcome to the Art of Selling Art. My name is Jason, if you didn't know that already. And today I'm going to share how to get noticed on the big umbrella art sites. And much to my chagrin, as much as I don't like those things, people are going to put their art on there anyway. So we might as well talk about how to succeed there. And there is a way, there's multiple strategies, and today I'm going to share uh, how to get in touch with the right people to get your art in front of the right audience. If you haven't done so already, you can join the Facebook group, The Art of Selling Art, this one right here. And you can follow on Instagram, The Art of Selling Art as well. You can also invite members to the group, anyone who you think could benefit from these discussions. You can also follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you can find us at The Art of Selling Art on Instagram. Okay, how do you get noticed on these big websites? So here is Saatchi Art, and I'm beginning with Saatchi Art because I just recently completed the complete guide to art fairs, which is an awesome thing to check out, as well as the augmented reality where I actually use Saatchi Art as a tool to help my potential collectors see what the art would look like in their home. So check that out. Anyway, here on Saatchi Art, it's a leading global online community, and there are thousands of artists who are showing and sharing their work on this website. But there are curators and there are blog posts and stories. The way to get noticed on these websites is to get your way into one of these stories and get noticed by a curator. Otherwise, you put your work on here, and what happens is with all of these is that the website's business is to have you invite your collectors, potential collectors, and friends and family to buy your artwork here. 99.9% of what they expect from you is to bring the clientele and the money to Saatchi Art. But if you are like me, none of my friends can buy my work. So I don't have a whole crowd to bring to Saatchi Art, and I have to rely on Saatchi search algorithms and luck for people to find my work. Instead, you want to take a more proactive stance at getting your work found. And you'll notice this throughout all of the things I talk about. I'm very proactive in getting in front of the right people, and that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so I noticed that there's a curators circle here, and it's actually called the Curator Circle. And what this is, and I'm not promoting Saatchi in any way, but what this is a subscription service within Saatchi where these curators will send new work to the people who are subscribed, and they're recommended, hey, buy this stuff right now. Well, you want them to notice your work in order to share it with the people who buy from Saatchi. And those people could be anyone from designers to personal collectors. And what is apparent right here is that the chief curator's name right here, Rebecca Wilson. Okay, and that's really important. We're going to use this name to figure out how to get our work in front of Rebecca. Naturally, I looked Rebecca up, and I first went to Saatchi's art website, and this is her profile, and it says her education and qualifications, and that's awesome. And you can actually see I followed her 35 seconds ago. Not really. I just haven't updated the site. But here she is. And this is some information about her, and it's not very useful, but we learned a few things and where she is and a little bit about her. After finding her name and her qualifications, I took that information and I went looking for her on LinkedIn. What I found on LinkedIn was a link to who she is, but basically a blocked out LinkedIn profile. And that could be this way for a number of reasons. Maybe she doesn't actually have LinkedIn or doesn't want to keep up with it. Probably she was receiving a lot of contacts and connection requests on LinkedIn and got tired of it. I don't know. But what we do is we have a link to use for a really powerful tool. And to learn more about this tool, find my video about RocketReach. But here we have RocketReach. From here, what I will do is I will copy this link and take it over to RocketReach. And if you haven't seen it already, check out my video on RocketReach. It is really, really powerful. Okay, let's close that. And here we go. We have some contact information using RocketReach for Rebecca Wilson, Chief Curator and VP at Art Advisory at Saatchi Art. And it's kind of as simple as that. You can use this tool to figure out how to reach people directly. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this information, take this opportunity, and I'm going to send her an email directly introducing my work. And I'll show you what that looks like in a few minutes. But there's more opportunities to get your work seen on Saatchi. So here there's Canvas, which is a blog by Saatchi, like I mentioned before. And this is a post from earlier this week by Kate Henning. And if you go through more of these posts, you'll see Catherine Henning, Senior Associate. You'll find out, or you'll see who is the writers on for these posts. And what you want to do is you want to get in touch with those writers and introduce them to your work. Otherwise, the chances of them finding you are pretty small. So you go to the blog and then you find the writers and then you look up the writers. And you can take it one step further. You can find the writer. You can follow them on Twitter, which I recommend, and follow them on Instagram and keep in touch with them so that they, one, have seen your work, and two, you develop a relationship. It's all about networking. And when it comes time, when the opportunity is there, hey, here's a look at my work. And maybe they'll say, yeah, awesome. You know, if your work is awesome, and let's talk about your work. Let's see if we can get you in on the schedule on the posts. Or maybe they'll say, not right now, contact me in the future. And then you have the social connection, social media with them to be able to reach out in the future. Over at RocketReach, I will take this and send an email to Rebecca Wilson. Now, that is for Saatchi Art. So let's look at, there's more places to sell your art online. Actually, I just looked up places to sell your work online, and I found this really, really brief, Art Plus Marketing, and you can click through and pick one, and you can repeat the same steps. From this list, you can see here is Saatchi and Society6, Artspur, I guess it's supposed to be like Prosper, but Artspur, and I clicked on Artfinder. Over here on Artfinder, here are reviews of artists. Someone wrote this, however, on Artfinder, they are not giving credit to the people who write the copy for their website. You know, some websites are like that, some websites aren't, but I didn't stop there. I took some critical thinking, and I'm a go-getter just like you here watching this. So I took it a step further and I looked up Artfinder on LinkedIn. Sometimes this will work, sometimes this won't. I looked up Fine Art America on LinkedIn and found nothing, but I found 48 people who work at Artfinder. And what you could do with this information is look for a writer at Artfinder. Here's Emily Martin. And then you take Emily's LinkedIn address, you plug it into RocketReach, and then you pop out some emails that you can reach out to her and introduce yourself to her work. Introduce yourself to her work. That's the bulk of guerrilla marketing. You have to go through the effort of making yourself known. Now, let's write an email to Rebecca. Here we are. I have the email written and I'm going to share it with you. If you have watched my video on RocketReach, you'll know that I send emails in a kind of unique way. I almost always put my contact as the subject line in the emails. The reason why is I read somewhere that this subject actually had a super high open rate. I don't know where I read it, I can't quote you. However, what I can quote you is my experience that a lot of people open the emails when I send them as my contact, and it really works. My contact: good morning, Rebecca. My name is Jason Matias, an artist new to Saatchi Art. I'd like to introduce you to my award-winning work, and in there I gave a link to my bio, and ask if there is any specific work you are looking for inside of the curator circle. You can find my work at the link below and on Saatchi here. So I gave her a link to my Saatchi profile because that's her environment, that's where she lives. Attached is a photo from Art Expo New York and a piece hanging in a collector's home. Together, these are the two veins of my work. The first is the Aria collection, the second being my select landscapes. I look forward to hearing from you and sharing my works with you. Now, I included two pictures, and the reason I chose these two is that I wanted to show that I'm a serious artist. So here is me at Art Expo New York with a giant piece of art. I actually might change this to attached is a photo of a piece I sold. At Art Expo New York, and the piece hanging in a collector's home. So I want to drive in the fact that people buy my work, so you should take a good look at it because your collector circle might want to buy my work. I left it open to please get in touch with me. Also, one thing I'd like to point out is that these linked images are under a megabyte. Now, her being an art person and being in this art world, her email is probably used to getting big emails with big attachments. However, just to be safe, keep your email attachments small, and that will also promote the person who's looking at your email to go into your website to see things with higher detail and more in depth. So this is a really simple thing. It's quite time consuming when you're trying to find a person that is difficult to find. I've spent many hours looking for an personal email for Bill Gates. I kid you not, I did that. It takes some time, but the payoff for something like this is getting your work featured on a site where people are there to buy. Get your work on the front page and you will see your views go from 100 to 1 million potentially. Thank you for checking this out, and if you have any questions, comments, please leave them in the group messages below or on the Facebook page. But if you're watching this, you're part of the subscriber base and I want to be able to interact with you directly, so go ahead and leave those comments in the post that you find this in, and then follow the Facebook group, tag your friends, and let's sell some art. Here we are. If you have rotched yourself in the face, what's up, everybody? Welcome.